Hey guys, so finally we are here and first episode of my new initiative, which is the Lean Talks. So please let me know in the live chat section whether you are able to hear me and is my voice clear enough, or is there some noise or disturbance coming from my side. Just a hello or hi or anything would do. Just let me know if everything is set. Awesome. So yes, awesome. Great, amazing. So I'm super excited for the Lean Talks, the first episode of the Lean Talks, and I know most of you might be from the previous session, which was the ProGate session, and that's really amazing that you guys uh, have spent more than like 2 hours with me, and if that too on the weekend. I am just amazed because for me it was super difficult to sit in someone's webinar or someone's workshop for more than 2 hours. I'm really happy that you guys are attending this. This is super great. So yes, there are few people who are joining who have joined just now for the Lean Talks, and few people who are there from my previous webinar. Don't worry for the people who have joined now. This is not related to my previous webinar. This is completely new content. So basically, let me explain what the Lean Talks really is. So basically, what was happening was I was getting a lot of DMs on LinkedIn and on emails, and it wasn't feasible for me to answer, to reply to all of them. Let me just change the view. Just give me a second. Just a second. Great. So yeah, it wasn't very feasible for me to actually revert back to all of them, um, and I really genuinely want to help each and every one of you. So I thought, why not fix some time each weekend so that I can genuinely interact with you one on one. I mean, whatever doubts you have, you guys can interact with me. Actually, I wanted to go live on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn Live feature isn't. I just came to know that LinkedIn Live isn't available for all, and they are have restricted LinkedIn Live to a few people, for which we have to gain approvals and something. So by the time we don't have the approvals for LinkedIn Live session, we'll have it here itself. So yes, the main motive behind the Lean Talks is to actually interact with you guys, but to make it more interesting. Actually, initially I branded it as Ask the Lean Programmer, but I thought that why just an AMA? Let's make it a learning session. 45 minutes. First 15 minutes, I'm going to tell you few tips from my side. It might be related to programming. It might be related to self-help. It might be related to time management. It might be related to productivity. It might be related to anything. But every weekend, every Saturday, 6 p.m. to 6:45 p.m., I will be sharing with you a few tips from my side, which can definitely trust me on this. All of these things which I'll share with you, I have first tested them on myself, and this will definitely work for you. And I'm damn sure that you are going to love it. So yes, the Lean Talk. Welcome to the Lean Talks, and uh, we are going to learn a lot today. And after that, we are going to interact a lot today. So I'm super excited for this. And I see so many hi and hellos in this chat section, and I'm super excited. First episode of the Lean Talks. Thanks a lot, everyone, for joining me. And yes, let's start. So as I said, first 15 minutes, let's learn something new. So today, before that, as always, if you have attended a few of my webinars before, the Ask Me Anything. So I have created a new AMA on Mentimeter, which is menti.com. Just go to menti.com, this menti.com, and type in this 777956, 777956. Once you do that, click on submit, and you will be able to ask me anything. Once you ask me anything, yep, everything. Maybe, what's your favorite anime? This time is genuinely for you guys, and you can definitely ask me anything. I won't mind. So yes, you can ask me anything. And So it will appear something like this. And for the people who are there from my previous webinar, I have opened it, I have this as well open. But I would really like it if you guys can type the same query in this as well, because switching through both the tabs would be a little bit difficult for me. So just let me know if it's feasible for you guys, then um, yes. Just let me know if you guys, for the people who asked their questions, I see a lot of questions there, and I would definitely love to answer them. But please, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. But can you just open the menti.com once again and type in this particular code? Let me add it in your live chat as well. Menti.com and 777956, and let me just display it on the screen. So yes, please type in your question once again, so that I can see in the single tap itself, and that would be really amazing. And by the time you just type in your questions, let me just tell you what all will I cover today. So today I'm going to discuss about 5 things which have helped me personally a lot. Trust me, these are the techniques. Uh, Majorly, what I am today, I give all the credit to these 5 techniques, and yes, you are going to love it. Let's see. And the thing is, uh, okay, so I see a lot of no here. Abhijit, I guess you are not comfortable with that, but you're going to the new AMA. But then again, okay, just let me know in chat section, whatever your question is. That was just okay, cool. No, okay. So yes, coming back to the topic here, just go to the menti.com, type in your questions, and I would love to answer each and every question that you have. All right. So continuing with the lean talks. So today we are going to discuss, first of all, the Pomodoro technique. The Pomodoro technique you might have heard a lot of times, but do you actually know how to implement this? I'm going to tell you today. Second one, Feynman technique. You might or you might not have heard about it, but I'm going to tell you how to implement that. Third, the quick feedback mechanism, which I myself devised. There's no scientific proof for that, but it works. Trust me, it works. Fourth, focus and fun technique. That's the thing which you might be looking up for, focus and fun, because that's the thing which helped me save my sanity while working, and not overloading myself or not burning myself out while doing all the stuff which I do. So yes, and the final thing is train your brain. So yes, coming on to the, without wasting any time, very quickly, the first technique, Pomodoro technique. So we can go through the history of it a little bit, but I'll not bore you. So tomato, so Pomodoro technique came from the tomato timer. Basically, uh, let me not go to the history. For the history, you can just go through the Pomodoro technique on the Google, and you'll find the history that in 1980s, the Pomodoro timer was used to break your work into intervals, which was, so the idea is, let me tell you the idea. The idea is to break your work into intervals of 25 minutes focused time. Let me repeat myself. All right, let me just make the screen a little bit big. Awesome. So yes, the idea is to continuously work for 25 minutes. It might be, there's no I mean, it's not hard and fast rule that you have to work for 25 minutes, but that's a number which most of the people follow. You can change it according to your convenience. It might be 30 minutes for you, or it might be 40 minutes for you, but it depends on you. So yes, the idea is to work in the iterations of having focused work and having a diffuse state of mind. So there are two state of minds. First one is focused state of mind. Second one is diffuse state of mind. Focused state of mind means we are completely focused towards a particular thing which we are doing, and we just put in our focus and we have no distractions. The diffuse phase state of mind means we are just, it might mean we are having fun, or our mind is just wandering off on somewhere, or anything, right? So yes, the Pomodoro technique tells you that, just give me a second, I'll just turn on the light. The power cut was going on from so long, and the power cut is over. Just give me a second. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Uh, uh, um, All right, amazing. So I'll just remove it from the stream. All right, great. So the thing is, the idea is having focused time period of like let's say 25 minutes. First 25 minutes you work, then you take a break of 5 minutes, then you work again for 25 minutes, then you take a break of 5 minutes once again, then you take a break of 25 minutes, then 5 minutes break again, and after three or four such pomodoros, which we call these iterations, one iteration is one pomodoro. So after three or four of these pomodoros, take a long break of 30 minutes or maybe 40 minutes. So these technique, the advantages of following this technique is are endless. So it helps you improve your focus. It helps you. I just wrote down somewhere like what all things which it helps with. Just let me open it. Uh, 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 so by the way, I still maintain a written notebook of everything. Like this helps me a lot. So this is one method which you can also follow. That try writing down things and so on. So yes, basically it enhances your focus. It helps you navigate into complex tasks. It improves your decision making. It improves your overall focus as well, and it reduces the interruptions and distractions, and it makes you focus towards your goal. So yes, but how to follow it? You might have heard a lot about this Pomodoro technique, but how to actually follow this thing? Very simple. I'll just show you my diary. Just make a daily journal. I do it like this: create a table in this, just put up a date and in front at the top of the page, and just write the tasks, and in the next column write pomodoros. So divide when you start each day, or maybe when you end each day. For the next day, write down what all tasks do you aim to accomplish. uh, Make those tasks, just make sure that one task does not take more than four pomodoros, because otherwise it's too much big of a task. If it takes more than four pomodoros or five pomodoros, just divide it into subtasks and write those subtasks. Or make sure that one task takes at least one pomodoro, otherwise combine those tasks, right? So we want to have a focused state of mind for 25 minutes. So yes, make sure that one task takes at least one pomodoro and at most four pomodoros. So make those check boxes in front of each task, and once you start doing, just mark down. So once your first pomodoro is over, just cross it. Second is over, just cross it. And if you take more than the expected pomodoros, like for the second task, let's say, which was make content for the lean talks, it took me three pomodoros instead of two. So just have an extra cross. So that extra cross, instead of which is outside of those checkbox, means that you took extra time, which you thought of, which you expected. And you need to improve your what can I say, planning, so that it will help you improve your project planning as well. And then after that, at the end of the day, just put in how many pomodoros you completed. And very, very important thing, a distracted pomodoro is not a pomodoro. Just keep this thing in mind. A distracted pomodoro is not a pomodoro. What does it mean? So let's say you are sitting for you a pomodoro means those 25 minutes should be completely focused, without any distraction, without any. I know it's very, very difficult to achieve, and maybe we are attracted towards Instagram, or maybe some call might come in between. If it does happen, it is not considered a pomodoro, and you will have to restart the timer once again. That does not mean you have to restart the whole task. Just pause your task and restart the timer once again. The idea here is to improve your focus. You'll just apply this theory for 10 or 20 days, and you'll see how focused your mind becomes, because for those 20 you'll learn to engage your mind in one single task for 25 minutes straight. Just give me a second. Awesome. So I'm so tired of speaking. So from past 2 hours, I was speaking in another webinar. So yeah, just forgive me. I don't have that much energy, but then again, that I won't let that affect you. So yes, the first thing is have a table of tasks and the expected pomodoros, and after that, at the end of the day, write down how many pomodoros you completed, and try to aim at least equal or greater than the previous day's pomodoros, because you need to improve your focus, right? First day, just trust me, when the first day I tried this technique, I was able to do only one pomodoro. That's super unexpected and sad, but then again, that's a reality. We don't have a focused state of mind. So yes, remember this rule: a distracted or an interrupted pomodoro is not a pomodoro. A pomodoro means 25 minutes of undistracted focused state of mind. Great. So how to, and then one last thing. At the end of the day, when just before going to sleep, write down what all did you learn. Write down the ideas or interruptions or distractions or anything which you want to improve in future. Doing this over a period of time will help you improve a lot in the longer term. And how to follow it? Uh, a quick recap. What you have to do is every day in the morning, or maybe previous day at night, list down the task you wish to complete. These are just the four sample tasks. Try to list down at least 5 or 6 tasks at least. So yeah, then once you start your day, whenever you are starting your first pomodoro, go to this website pomofocus.io and just start your pomodoro timer. So it will tell you, it will just inform you whenever your pomodoro is complete. So the idea is 25 minutes of focus, 5 minutes of diffuse state of mind, having fun, having break, a cup of coffee or anything, again 25 minutes of focused state of mind, then again 5 minutes of diffuse state of mind, then focus, then diffuse, then focus, then a long break. A long break can be of 30 minutes. So yes, it will be very helpful. Awesome. And let's see the next technique, which is the Feynman learning technique. This is the technique which I follow the most every day. I mean, not every day, at least every weekend. So this thing tells us that uh, I love to like attach one quote with this technique, which is the teacher learns the most. Yes, you heard it right. Whenever we try to teach people, we learn it the most. So there are four simple steps to follow the Feynman learning technique. First of all, choose a concept you want to learn about. Then pretend that you are teaching it to a student in grade 6. Identify the gaps in your explanation. I mean, at the first step, you might not be able to explain it like even a little bit. Identify it, improve it gradually, and then simplify. The idea is to simplify your learning. If you cannot anything in the world, if you cannot explain it to a 6-year-old child, then that means you're not experienced enough with that particular knowledge, that particular piece of knowledge. So yes, the idea is to simplify your learning and to learn while teaching. So yes, a simple example can be like, some people might argue that this does not come in Feynman technique, but I think that it comes. So just so Bharti just suggested that some other app as well, which is Pomodoro. Yes, there are many web apps, and you can follow whatever web app you want. So yeah, great. So the Feynman learning technique, I think, includes all these things as well, which is writing blogs, or you can just right now itself, you can just write a blog about Feynman technique and just spread this technology and spread this technique with people. So you learn by teaching. So maybe Pomodoro technique. Just try to maybe help your juniors, mentor your juniors, write a LinkedIn post about the techniques which you learned today. So learn by teaching people. That's the best sort of learning. Great. And the next thing is the quick feedback mechanism. I wrote a whole blog on this one. You would definitely want to check this out. Medium.com/madhavbahl.10. So basically, the idea is there are three kinds of feedback. One is the positive feedback. Second is the negative feedback. Third is the useless feedback. The positive, I even wrote a LinkedIn post about this today, and many people liked it as well. So the whole point behind is that first thing, positive feedback is basically the rewards or with the results which you get after doing some hard work. So you might this might have happened to almost all of you, that in your childhood, your parents might have bribed you that if you pass this particular exam, I'll buy this DVD for you, or I'll buy this bike for you, or I'll do something for you. So that particular thing, which is getting some positive reward at the end of completion of a task, is called the positive feedback. So this kind of feedback will can has the potential to help you get started. So let's say that initial motivation, the threshold motivation. So let's say I want to start learning machine learning, but I don't have any motivation to do that. So so my teacher or my mentor can bribe me that, oh, if you are able to clear this exam, the first exam of this particular course of machine learning, or you can reward yourself as well. I can reward myself, like, okay, if I clear this particular machine learning course first exam, then I will be maybe buying myself a new t-shirt, or maybe do something, right? So a simple example can be, for the people who like to work out, so you can do one thing like, doing workout is actually simple, but maintaining a diet, it is super difficult. So to actually get past that threshold motivation, you can do something like this. Okay, Madhav, I'm going to do one thing. uh, i will I will, for the first 6 days, I will be stay on a diet, and I won't eat any junk food, and I'll eat only nutritious food. And for the seventh day, Sunday, I'll treat myself with a lot of not lot, a little bit of junk food. So that you can see that as a reward, and it will help you get past that threshold motivation. All right. Khushbu just wrote that not every has good teaching skill, but can have good knowledge. Yes, definitely, everyone can. So it's just a learning technique, Khushbu. I believe that everyone can be a good teacher. Everyone can be a good teacher. So just try to explain that. So this is just a learning technique. So if you are able to explain even the most complex sort of problem to a 6-year-old child, that means that yes, you have understood it thoroughly. So that's just a learning technique. Just check it out on Google, Feynman learning technique. Just read about it, you'll learn a lot. Great. So coming back, so this was the first feedback, which was positive feedback, which includes the rewards. Second one is the negative feedback. The negative feedback basically includes the constructive criticism which we get. So the thing is, the positive feedback only helps you to get past that threshold motivation level. But after you cross that, you need some intrinsic motivation, or you need some real feedback to improve. So at this particular time, you need constructive criticism. It's impossible to be 100% correct. So first step was passing that threshold motivation level. Now you need to aim to be an expert. How you can do that? Very simple. Just look forward for constructive criticism. So yes, I'll tell you how to do that. Just a second, just give me a second. And the third part is the useless feedback. So yes, the saddest part of the world is that, I mean, that's the real thing, that's how the world works, that you will feel, you will meet two kinds of a little annoying people in your life. First one will be the people who will just say anything just for the sake of saying it. And the second one, who will hate you no matter what you do. So they might be jealous, or it might be any reason, but you will interact with these two kinds of people who will just try to waste your time. So yes, try to differentiate the negative feedback from the useless feedback. So yes, if it's a negative feedback, work on it, improve yourself. But if it's a useless feedback, ignore it. So yes, now comes the quick feedback technique. The quick feedback technique consists of 8 steps. First one is look for a mentor. Second one, a mentor can be anything, like you can just ask your friend to be a constant mentor, to review your tasks, to anything. Second thing is look for a group of like-minded people. Like let's say I have this community of web mentor on Telegram. You can join that, which is t.me/web mentor, or anything. So look for a group of people, of like-minded people, who can motivate you, or let alone motivate you, whom you can reach out if you have any doubt. Because quick or immediate feedback helps a lot, not only in the motivation thing, it motivation point of view, it helps in improving your skills as well. Then After you do that, keep learning, exploring, and doing. So that's the most important part. That's the irreplaceable part. After you do that, after completing your task, ask for a quick feedback from your mentor. That will help you. It might be a positive feedback or it might be a negative feedback. That will help you grow. Then share your learning with that group of people, that group of like-minded people. That I know it's very difficult to find a group of like-minded people. Make LinkedIn your group of like-minded people. It's not necessary to have a full-fledged community. Make LinkedIn your community. Just go to LinkedIn and post like, this is what I learned today, and this is what I just um, this is what I sort of, let's say, this is the project which I made today, and so on. Just share your learning and ask people their feedback so that you can improve. So yes, 3 points in the beginning to get over that threshold motivation. Reward yourself whenever you do something good. Second, once you achieve a certain level of expertise or you feel that you're good enough, start looking for negative feedback. It will help you improve a lot. Then last point, ignore all the useful feedback. The most important thing in this life is time. You don't want to waste time. So there will be people, I again warn you, there will be people who will just always be standing against you. But if their feedback is actually helpful, even if it's negative, apply them, improve based on that feedback. But learn to differentiate between uh, a negative feedback, a constructive criticism, and useless feedback. So yes, don't get stuck on the things that are meant to waste your time. So this was the quick feedback mechanism. Two more points: the focus and fun. This actually I covered in the Pomodoro Technique section itself. So basically, what it means is there are two states of mind, as I already told you. First one is focused, and second one is diffused. Both states of mind are equally important. So just try to give this book read this book, which is Deep Work, and you'll understand. This is a pretty amazing book. It tells a little bit about this, not exactly, but yeah. So the thing is, our brain has two states of mind, which is one, first one is focused, second one is diffused. So you want to make sure in the focused state of mind you can improve your learning, you can learn things, you can do things way better than in your diffused state of mind. But our brain has a capability. You can't remain in your focused state of mind 24/7. Otherwise you'll end up with a burnout, and you will start losing your motivation, and so on. So try to have fun as well. So the idea is, try to have iterations of alternate iterations of focus and fun, as in Pomodoro technique. Let's say 25 minutes of focus, 5 minutes of fun, 25 focus, 5 fun. And let's take it to the bigger level. So it can be, let's say, on the bigger scale, it can be 6 days of work, 1 day of fun. 6 days of work, 1 day of fun. Or maybe 15, 14 days of work, 1 day of fun, or something like that. So yes, every month take out at least 1 day where you do nothing. Trust me, it will help you a lot in long term. So yes, again, productivity does not mean doing as much as you can. Productivity means doing things efficiently while maintaining your mental sanity. And the last topic for today is lean talks, the spaced repetition, how to train your brain. So the thing is, whenever you try to learn something new, there's a sort of retention curve. So the thing is, whenever you learn something new, so the topics which I'm going to talk about today, the 5 topics which I talked, right now these are very very fresh in your memory. But after 5 days, I'm damn sure that you are not even going to remember these things. So the thing is to have a spaced repetition. Let's say I tell you some sort of thing, any knowledge which I give you, take a break of 2 days and try to go over the slides or anything. So this is the sort of the repetition curve, the retention curve. So in the initially, the forgetting curve, this is called forgetting curve. You can search on it on Google. So initially it drops down exponentially, it goes down. But after a period of time, if you just try to remember it, it will again go up, and then it will go down. If you try to learn it again, it will go up. So the thing is, after 2 or 3 repetitions, the curve will flatten. So after the curve is flattened, you can call your like you can definitely believe in yourself that now, yes, you will remember those things. So yes, that's called brain training, spaced repetition. So try to practice these things, practice, let's say, competitive programming. So you, what you can do is, let's say you learn merge sort technique today. So after 3 days or 4 days, try to remember the merge sort once again, and do this after a regular period of time for 2 or 3 times, and you will see that it will remain in your memory now. So, yes, that was it for the Lean Talks today. And let's go back to our questions. Quickly close down all these things. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. My question was from your previous webinar: what might lend us job at big companies, competitive programming versus projects? I really wish if the answer was projects. I mean, okay, cool. Let me be clear to the point. I really wish it was projects. So telling my story, I was matlab, I was more so much into development, and I really loved developing things, because in development, in app development, and so on, in software development, you can see the result. Let's say I make an application, I can see it right now, I can operate with it, and that's what made me more excited. But in competitive programming, you have to solve a problem on, and you can just see the output, input, and output. So that wasn't pretty much exciting for me. But the reality is that when you apply for companies, they look more into your problem solving techniques, and that comes through competitive programming. So yes, if you are aiming for big companies, your coding interview will be there, and in there you will be asked some problems to solve. And if you have an enough experience in competitive programming, you will be able to crack them easily. So yes, competitive programming has a little bit edge over projects when it comes to the cracking the coding interview for the big companies. But the thing is, they are projects are also equal. Like getting deeper into it by cracking competitions like GSOC. So let me give you a very small example. Just give me 1 minute. I'm so tired of speaking. Just 1 minute. I'll just drink water and come. Okay, guys, I would never ever recommend to take 2 consecutive sessions. It's so tiring. Okay, awesome. Let's come back. Great. So yes. So where we were on competitive programming. Oh, by the way, this session will go up to 7 o'clock. So I hope you are available till 7, right? And as many questions, I'll try to solve as many questions as I can till 7 o'clock, and then I'll move forward with the with I mean, and then I'll meet you again next Saturday. But yes, next Saturday I'll instead of menti.com, I'll come up with a separate platform in which you can upvote the questions, so that there are not many repetitive questions, and for the questions, so that you also don't have to type your questions again and again, right? So just forgive me for this time that you had to type your questions once again from the previous webinar and here. Next time I'll try to think of, I'll try to explore a new platform. But then again, yeah. So yes, in the coding interview, so it will go something like this. First round might be the coding round. Second round might be group fly or something like that. Then you might have some technical interviews. Then you might have HR interviews. I hope you are able to get my point. The first round will be the coding round. So if you were focusing only on projects, you might not even be able to crack the coding round. If you're not able to crack the coding, so projects helps when you are talking face to face with your interviewer. If you don't even get the chance to interact with your interviewer, your projects won't be able to help you. So that's the reality. So but there's a catch in everything. So uh, when you apply for off campus, there might be many off campus hiring drives which might not have a coding interview. First of all, like let's say for startups, for like let's say you are, if you are specifically applying for a Java developer role or maybe an Android developer's role, and you are sending your resume to the recruiter through email or something, then you might directly schedule a interview. In that case, your projects might help you a little more than competitive programming. So I hope you are able to understand, right? So when you are able, when you are looking for big companies, their procedure might be somewhat similar. They'll firstly have a competitive the coding round, then group fly, then technical interviews, then HR interview. Even in technical interviews, you will see that you'll have to face whiteboard interview, where the interviewer will give you some question and you'll have to solve it. So yes, yes, just try to be clear with what path you want to take. If it's startups of particular or some domain specific jobs, or the big companies, the hiring drives. In the hiring drives, you are going to face competitive programming. In the other way, you might not face it as much as you face it there. I hope it solves it out. And let me just quickly go through the points mentioned in the chat window as well. uh, okay, have you not distracted from doing tech things and suddenly with financial things like stock market and trading techniques? I am not into stock marketing, so I can't say that, bro. I'm so sorry. I'm not at all into stocks and all. So yeah. And Pritish asks me that sometimes useless feedback can affect our productivity. Yes, definitely. Not only productivity, it can help affect your mental health. It can affect your sanity. How to cope up with it? Sometimes they are given by our fishers. So the thing is, you are going to face a lot of useless feedback in your life. Learn to differentiate it. How to differentiate it? First of all, introspect whether this feedback is really applying on me. Is it like let's say, a friend of yours, let's say randomly, I'm taking a random example. Let's say tomorrow, Pritish, a friend of yours, out of nowhere, he comes and say, oh, you are so bad that you don't trust your friends. And you start thinking, do you I really trust or do I don't trust? You might not even be able to introspect it yourself. In that case, ask the feedback of your other friends. So yes, always remember this point, that there's never a single source of truth. So many people do this single mistake of this following only one role model. Never ever have only a single role model role model. I'm so sorry for the pronunciation. So yes, even for me, the tips which I am giving you, those might not be 100% correct, because even I am learning right now. So try to follow many thought leaders instead of just first. So I've seen people like a friend of mine, he was following Jeff Bezos from so long time, and he just tries to imitate him in everything. And there's another friend of mine who follows Gary Vee, and he tries to imitate Gary Vee in everything. Like every post of his is like just like he's trying to copy Gary Vee. So we have to remember that there's no person who can be 100% true, 100% correct every time. So just have two or three sources of information instead of just one source of information. So yes, that's what I wanted to convey, that sometimes whenever sometimes the useless feedbacks are clearly visible. In that time, it really helps you figure out who tries to wish well for you and who envies you, who tries to waste your time. Just try to stay away from that person. And sometimes it's really difficult to actually figure out whether this is a constructive criticism or it is a useless feedback. In that time, ask don't hesitate to ask your friends, ask your family, that whether is it really something that can help me or not. So yes, reach out to people. And let's take in Ayush doubt, which is, by recalling, what do you mean? Can we refer sources again, or only brain cache? Yes, brain cache. The thing is, you can refer the resources again, but the point here is to remember from retention. To remember from whatever is stored in your brain. So let's take the example of merge sort once again. So let's say I learned merge sort today, and after 3 days I'll try to forget, I'll start forgetting it. After 3 days, I should try to remember from my own memory, try to recall it, instead of uh, try to reread, try to recall. Always give more attention to recalling things. That way your retention curve will become a little, the forgetting curve will become a little flattened. So yes, but if you are like, if you feel a situation like, no, I'm not able to recall it from my memory, you can always refer the resources like Google and all. And Bharati again suggested something. If you're really interested in Feynman, I haven't read this book, but I'll definitely give it a read. Thanks a lot, Bharati. And the man is a legend. Yes, he definitely is. I mean, I just look up to him, and he's a legend. And can a full stack infetch? Ideally, no. I mean, if you are not good at problem solving, the rounds, coding rounds, you won't be able to clear the coding round if you are not, uh, if you're not at least even, if you have no experience with problem solving. So yes, but the problem solving helps in development as well. When you start working into these companies, you'll see that there will be some tasks given to you that might be 100% development based, but your problem solving skills will come into help. So yes, you'll have to give a little bit attention to problem solving. So yes, please guys, mention your questions in AMA instead of the chat section, because it would be a little bit easier for me. So yes, now I haven't been feeling the mood to code at all for past week. I have been just reading the theory and concept, but is there a good way to get back with the coding habit? I would recommend this book for you, Eat the Frog. I'll just mention it in the link. Eat the Frog. Just give me a second. Eat the Frog, if I'm not wrong. Yes. So basically, this is just a sort of, maybe it might be a procrastination. So yes, you would definitely love to read this book. After reading, this will definitely help you. It's not related to coding. Don't get me wrong. It's not at all related to coding, but it will definitely help you overcome any of your procrastinating things. So eat the frog. It will. It's an amazing book. Great. And Srirang, bro, please on that chat section, not on chat section, on the AMA, but yes, let me answer it. Can we write blogs on multiple topics or domains even if we are not masters? Yes, definitely you can. Whenever you learn it, just try sharing what you learned. You might not be 100% correct, but you will get to know, because after you write blogs, you will get a lot of feedback. One will be appreciation, and other one will be the constructive criticism. If you don't go and write the blogs, or maybe if you don't go and publish your work, you will never get the constructive criticism. And if you don't get the constructive criticism, you will never be able to know what where you went wrong. So yes, it's important. Even if you are not a expert, you should write. And yes, I can suggest some way. Thing is, or maybe try reading that book, and then we can interact. Just feel free to DM me on LinkedIn. There are a lot of 100 messages, but then again, maybe uh, maybe you can read a summary of that book, Eat That Frog. You can read a summary of that on Google. Just search on about it on Google, and next Saturday 6 to 7, we will discuss about whether it worked or not, and I can tell you some my methods as well, which I follow when I feel like procrastinating. All right, what are some good non-ML projects? Again, as I mentioned before, so just search on Google the public APIs, public APIs list. Just give me a second. So in my definition, according to my dictionary, a good project is something which is innovative project. So you can search a lot, you can look around yourself, what is innovative and what can I do to improve anything or something. You can come up with any innovation, but I know it's very difficult to be innovative and creative all of a sudden. So yes, you can. What I used to do initially was, this method can help you as well. Let's go to this public APIs, public hyphen APIs on GitHub. I'll share the link on the chat section as well. Just go to this GitHub repository. It contains a lot of public APIs. So just think about it and combine any of those public APIs and maybe think of a project. Let me give you a simple example, a very simple example. Let's say let's say books, open library. So you can use this API and just try to build your own library recommendation system. How about that? Maybe link, maybe a sort of a book recommendation system, which involves another API, which is the natural language understanding API. So have a book, ask for feedback for the people from the people who have read that book, and do some NL, which is natural language understanding. You can find the APIs like Monkey Learn API, and from that try to rate those books on maybe some based on genre, like self help. In productivity, these are the top books. In this, these are top books. So yes, your innovative project can be anything. uh, so yes, do some innovation that comes into a good project. Okay, your favorite books. I can say that books which have impacted me a lot. The first one I would say, which I don't follow. It's very hypocritical of me to say that, but then again, I don't follow the main advice, but I follow the other advices. So this book by Robin Sharma, which was the 5 a.m. Club, I read it a long time back. I tried waking up at 5 a.m., but I found that 5 a.m. was not my most productive time. My most productive time was somewhere else. So you have to find your own most productive time. But let's not go there. But I found he wrote some very, very interesting things in that book. Not only about waking up at 5 p.m. and doing things. There is a lot more information in that book. So that was one of my favorites. Another one is then this So Good They Can't Ignore You. Another one is, there are many of those, but yes, you can definitely try reading. This is definitely worth a read. So Good They Can't Ignore You. I guess you can see it. And okay, great. Can you please give a few tips on writing articles? The best tip about writing article, bro, is that just go to Medium, write about anything, and hit that publish button. I know that's not what you were expecting. That's the best tip. Hit that publish button. Unless you hit that publish button, no matter how many tips you ask from people, you'll never be able to know what's your writing style. So there's no right, there's no wrong. Even if you make grammatical mistakes, even if you so some people will, some generic advice, writing advice, you can find it on Google easily. Do not make grammatical mistakes. Try to add your own personal experiences in that your article. Try to do this, try to do that. You can find a lot of them. But the thing is, there are some things which works for us, which might work for me, which might not work for you. So the best thing about it is, hit that publish button, do a little bit of promotion, ask each one of, for the first blog, ask every one of your friend to read it and give honest feedback, give negative. Look for, whenever you publish that first, but whenever you publish that, hit that publish button for the first time, seek for negative feedback, seek for constructive criticism, so that you can improve. And then after you write 4 or 5 blogs, you will be able to know your writing style. So for me, let me take a quick example. I have tried uh, many writing styles. I have tried formal way of writing. I have tried informal way of writing. I have tried third person way of writing, and so on. But for me, what work was something in which audience were involved. Like in which I was talking to myself. Like this was the way which worked for me. Like in the middle, like it's going, the article is going, and suddenly I would add a funny gif, or I would add a meme, or let's say the content is going on, and suddenly I will start talking to myself, like, and say like, hey mother, what do you mean by this? And I'll say this. So yeah, that was what worked for me. It might not work for you. So yes, start publishing articles, and you will know for yourself what worked for you and what not. How to increase the number of hours you can study weekly? Pomodoro technique. Use the Pomodoro technique. Initially, I used to think that I work a lot or I study a lot, but most of the time I was. So coming back to this particular slide, this one. So once you do that, you follow the Pomodoro technique. Initially, what happens is, if we are not reflecting back on our work, it happens that we just keep working and we think we are busy, but we are not actually productive. Our mind is wandering. We open LinkedIn in between, we open Instagram in between, we use phone in between. And it was so funny, it was so shocking for me to know that when I tried this technique for the first time, in the whole day I found that I could complete only one Pomodoro. So that meant that only 25 minutes was my focus time. That was so shocking for me. So yes, and now I can complete from 10 to 12 Pomodoros each day. So yes, use Pomodoro techniques, and you'll see that you can improve your focus as well, and you can increase the number of hours you can study and work. How to contribute to open source as a beginner. I wrote a whole blog on that. Let me just share the link with you. Sorry, I'm so sorry. So yes, this is the blog. Let me share the screen. If you guys can share this, see the screen, which is kickoff to open source. I have written very, in in a detailed manner, how can you start contributing to open source, and it will be really really helpful for you guys. I'll just You can just go to Google and just search this kickoff to open source, and you will find my article on the first place. So I'll just mention it in the comments. Kickoff to open source. Yes, try reading that, and if you still have some doubt after reading that, it's the link is given below. If you still have some doubt, try to reach out to me in the next webinar. Okay, I'm so tired. Let's take it for 7 more minutes. Okay, I am pursuing BSc ITM, and I just go to second year, but I don't have a clear vision for what I do as a programmer, and hired by campus only after 12 months. So how should I prepare for that? First of all, finding your vision is something which you cannot do overnight. For me, it took me a lot of time to understand that what am I really inclined towards. I'm really inclined towards uplifting the community. I'm really inclined towards uplifting the student community, speaking, public speaking, and so on. But the thing is, don't make your it's something very very opposite to what you generally hear. Don't make your passion your main hustle. So always keep it at the side, because the thing is, the passion is something, a sort of very confusing word. Like sometimes what happens is, what we love doing in our free time, when it becomes our full time profession, we start disliking it. So yes, finding a vision and finding your full-time profession is, according to me, two different things. So yes, finding a vision, how to find your vision, it will uh, it will become clear to you automatically after you start exploring different things and so on. You'll have to take a decision at some point of your life, but then again, uh, just keep exploring, and you'll find out what you love doing, and find and have a great vision for that. Like, let's say if I love playing badminton in my free time, so let's say, why not, okay, I'll do something to, I'll have my own badminton stadium one day. Have a vision that you think in your present condition is unachievable. That you should achieve, if you have your vision that high. So always aim for the moon. So that, as they say, always aim for the moon. Even if you miss, you land among the stars. So yes, have a very high vision. Find it out slowly. It's not something which you can do overnight. But yes, how to get hired by campus. So the thing is, again, competitive programming. So in my previous webinars, I mentioned a few resources. The first one was this one. Just let me share it with you guys. Let me just open that link itself. Okay, webinars and Progate webinar. Let me open it. Just a second. Great. So the thing is, uh, uh, um, yes. So how to crack the coding interview? That may be a very big topic of discussion. But all in all, I can definitely recommend you a few resources. So in your coding round, they will majorly look for these few things, which is your problem solving skills or your analytical skills, your coding skills, your technical knowledge, your experience, and your culture fit. So yes, your analytical skills, everything counts, that how were you able to solve the problem or not, how good was the solution. Your coding skills consist of, were you able to write the code successfully. Technical knowledge consists of every core subjects like DBMS, operating systems, computer networks, theory of computation, compiler design, and so on. And your other things as well, which is your development, app development, web development, and so on. Experiences, have you built interesting projects, and so on. And culture fit, are you able to work in teams? So yes, For the coding round, I have a few recommendations for you guys, which is this one, Code Chef syllabus. This is pretty cool. Just let me open it. So okay, so I can mention the link in the comments. Just let me see if I can do that. Maybe after the webinar ends, I can do that. Or you can just search for Code Chef ICPC syllabus and you'll find this link. And it has the syllabus, sort of the syllabus. You can just take a screenshot at this point and you can type it down. It's not a very huge URL. codechef.com/certifications/data structures and algorithms/prepare. So it has the syllabus sort of things which you can actually go through. And then again, I always recommend this particular book, which is Cracking the Coding Interview. Very, very amazing book. Sort of a very amazing book. Then for data structures and algorithm, Data Structures and Algorithms by Narasimha Karamanchi. And for practicing online, you can go to Lead Code and Spots. Online judges were never my cup of tea, so I just practiced it on using books, the problems which are given in this books. But yes, online judges is practicing on them is very, very important. So yes, do try out HackerRank, HackerEarth, CodeChef, Lead Code, Spots, any one of them. Don't just jump onto every other platform. All right, and let's take three more questions. Let's aim for three more questions for today. How to prioritize tasks? Very, very important thing, and it's a big topic of discussion. Let me keep it a sort of a topic of lean talks for next week. Would that be fine? I think that should be fine. So yes, and by doing that, I am calling you in the next session as well. In the next session of the lean talks, I would tell you more techniques and more tips on which can help you in your daily life. And then I'm good at my full stack development. I want to prepare. Okay, will I be able to? Yes, definitely. DSA 6 months is more than enough for preparations, but you'll have to stay consistent and you'll have to spend a lot of time daily. Some ideas. First of all, maybe since your time is less, I'd never really ask. I never really prefer those paid courses, but when time is less, you need some focused study material. So you can enroll in any of those courses by these companies which are coding blocks or coding ninjas, or there are so many companies. They all have good content. Just enroll in any online sort of tutorial from which they can they can provide you the material and all. And then practice daily. Practice is the most important thing. Practice daily for for at least 1 hour competitive programming daily, and try out this book, Cracking the Coding Interview. It's really amazing. But yes, 6 months is an enough time to, if you have enough time to dedicate, let's say at least 3 hours or 4 hours daily. If you can do that for 6 months, yes, it's an enough time. According to me, it's enough time. And some tips. And again, yes, where was that question? Don't forget to improve your profile as well. Profile online presence matters a lot. So let's say you are doing competitive programming for 6 hours a day. Spend 1 or 2 hours a day doing other things as well, like maybe practicing operating systems, or just devising your data DBMS, or other core subjects, and try to improve your online presence by, let's say you wrote about the normal like let's take any topic, like let's say any machine learning. Like let's say you are studying machine learning. Let's say you learned a new machine learning topic. Just write a blog about that. Or not even much. Let's come back to the core subjects. Let's say computer networks. Let's say you revised today your TCP IP model. Just write a blog on TCP IP model. Improve your online presence. 6 months is more than enough. All right. I am not able to recall the logic while programming. Can you suggest? Constant practice. That comes with the constant practice. I follow this one particular method. This will be very, very helpful for you. Just try to follow it for 5 days. It will be really helpful. So whenever you start any coding problem, set a timer of 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, but 40 are enough. 40 minutes. After 30 minutes, you will have a clear understanding that I can do it or not. So let's say if after 30 minutes, you have almost completed 75% of the code or 80% of the code, and you think that you can do it on your own, then proceed further, no issues. Even if that it extends the time of 40 minutes or 45 minutes, even if it takes 1 hour. But if you are clear that you can solve it, but if you're not able to solve it even after 30 or 40 minutes, stop right now, see the solution, understand the solution, read the solution. Once you do that, it will take you 10 or 15 minutes to understand the solution. Once you do that, go out for a walk for 7 minutes or 10 minutes, at least for 7 minutes, have a cup of coffee or do anything, then come back. I hope you're able to recall the previous concepts which I told you. First one was focus and fun. By doing this, first of all, you were in the focus state of mind. Now you are giving your brain some time to get into the diffuse state of mind. Once you are in the diffuse state of mind, your creative thinking increases. Then you are then after that, after those 7 minutes of break are over, go back, try to recall that solution which you read and write the code yourself. So here you are applying two principles: focus and diffuse state of mind. And the second one is this particular thing, which is recalling. So yes, just try it out and you'll be able to improve, and it'll be fun. All right. The last question for today, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay. How do you manage your time? Pomodoro. As I told you, this particular thing. This is how I manage my time. I divide my tasks and I write down the expected pomodoros and I cross them down each day. Let's take one more questions. Okay, I'm a full stack development. Okay, how did you come up with the name the lean programmer? Okay, so I came up with it in second year, and at that time I was a gym freak and I wanted to have a lean body. So that was one part. So basically there are two reasons for that. First thing is very much I was at that particular time point of time, I was very fascinated about the lean concepts. So I came up with that name, and plus it was a goal which I couldn't accomplish till now, but then that happens with everyone. Okay, last question for today. Can we write blogs on multiple topics even? Yes, definitely you can. As I told in the, I have already answered this question previously. Start writing. Only then you will be able to get the constructive criticism, and only then you will be able to know where you went wrong, and only then you'll be able to become a master. So yes, start writing, even if you are not a master. I want to post about my views about multitasking on LinkedIn, which I have learned from the course Work Smart Not Hard. Should I post the certificate with them? Yes, definitely you can. So a very interesting things about a very simple way would be write down in let's say in 1,000 characters, in less than 1,000 characters, summarize what all did you learn in that course and put it with the certificate on LinkedIn. You'll get a lot of views, outreach as well, and people will learn from it as well. So yes, do that. All right. So I guess I covered almost everything, right? Only 5 or 6. I guess this we can cover in the next week as well. So yes, that's it from my side. And if I was able to help you guys, just help me, because I want this initiative, the Lean Talks, to reach out as many people as I can. So I want you guys to help me in that. Just go on LinkedIn and post what all did you learn from today and mention me, and just tell people that you should attend the Lean Talks, because if you think I was able to help you, the link for the Lean Talks will be the same every weekend. madhavbahl.tech/AMA. This one every weekend you can open this link 6 to 7, and I'll be speaking with you. But yes, I want to reach more and more people so that I can share my knowledge with them. So yes, do go to LinkedIn and post what all did you learn, mention me, and just try to recommend this particular initiative to people so that it can reach more people. That's it from my side, guys. And it was super amazing to actually interact with you. Oh, I forgot to remove this kickoff to open source from the screen. All right. Great. So thanks a lot, people. I loved interacting with you. You were a fabulous audience. See you next week, every weekend, every Saturday, 6 to 7, the Lean Talks. Bye bye.